What's up, everybody? This is Dark Macek with Brutally Delicious, coming at you with a review of Evermore's brand new debut album, Court of the Tyrant King. When I heard the name Evermore, I thought of two things. One, there's a really big LARP-style festival somewhere in Utah. Two, Battle of Evermore by Led Zeppelin, something about the Tolkien Legendarium. 2.1, Taylor Swift's latest album. Anyway, I figured this had to be something in the high fantasy genre a la Rhapsody. And boy, this shit did not disappoint, because this is one motherfucking epic album. The intro track is kind of what you'd expect, like 54 seconds of ambient noise building up into an actual song, though I will say the first song does sound a little disjoint from the intro. No harm, no foul, it's really nice. This vocalist is definitely unique. He's got a tenor range, but the timbre's way different than anything I've ever heard before. I don't know what singer to compare him to. Musically, it does sound like power metal, but there are a lot of thrash elements in the guitar riffs. I swear I heard the Holy Wars riff somewhere in the first song. However, despite some thrash elements, I think this album is primarily power metal, and I think the setup here is actually pretty cool. Some people refer to the album Appetite for Destruction. Instead of having a side A and side B, is having side Guns and side Roses. The first half of the album is pretty debaucherous. You're talking Welcome to the Jungle, It's So Easy, Out to Get Me, those kind of songs. And the second half of the album is a lot sweeter. That's your Paradise City and your Think About You, and Rocket Queen, which is itself, first half raunchy, second half loving. This album seems to follow a kind of similar structure. The first half, I definitely got the perception, was more thrashy, and the second half, starting with the title track, was way more power. The last track doesn't quite fall into this. It is a little more thrashy, but I think the paradigm still holds. When I'm going to call out specific songs here, I'm actually going to be referring mainly to that second half. The title track has some church or hymnal vibes to it. It's a really nice addition to this style, which is epic and invigorating and inspiring instead of just your typical metal doom and gloom. This track was worth the price of admission. Northern Cross was another amazing song. I love the key change at the end. It made me say wow out loud listening to it by myself. See No Evil was definitely a pee-in to Halloween. I absolutely loved it nonetheless. Fantastic chorus, absolute highlight of the album. And My Last Command, another fantastic ending, very high fantasy, very inspiring, that style. The only criticism I'm going to leave on this album is that the sequencing was a bit off. I found this to be pretty back heavy. I didn't end any songs thinking that they were lowlights, but tracks 4 through 7 were definitely the selling points in the album, and it took us 4 tracks to get there. So even though it is cool to have that thrash side and power side thing I was talking about, I do think interspersing these a bit would have made for a more cohesive album. Nonetheless, fantastic debut, guys. I hope to see more from you. Rock on.